Nothing meaningful or worthwhile is ever achieved without proper planning. If you want a productive day, you have to plan. If you want a productive week or month, you have to plan. If you want a productive year, you have to sit down, find a time and plan for it. A productive day is not going to plan itself. You can't just go in blind and say, okay, as the spirit leads. No, you have to have a concrete plan, a blueprint as to the direction you want to go and how you intend to get there. Now I'm of the opinion that whatever it is you are planning for, whether it is a short-term task or a long-term goal or vision, it doesn't have to take hours or days. As long as you have a clear direction as to where you want to go and what you want to do, planning should not be tedious. It should be fun. So how do you plan your week? That is exactly what I'm going to be talking about in this video. You guys know that I don't like to complicate things. I like to keep things simple. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you straightforward steps to having a meaningful and a productive week without being burnt out, exhausted, and overwhelmed. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. All right, the first thing you have to do to have a good, meaningful, and a productive week is to set a time aside for you to plan for your week. This is pretty much obvious. You have to have a time where you are setting aside for planning. I mean, you're planning for 7 days. This is not just a day planning or something. You are planning for 7 days. So it is important that you are intentional about giving it or allocating a time for it. Ideally should be during the weekends, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, or it can even be the week before. I, for one, before weekend, I already know how I want my next week to go. So I start planning for it ahead of time. Sometimes that falls into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever works for you. Everybody's schedule is not the same. Everybody's preferences are not the same. Everybody's productivity profile is not the same. You know yourself. But the thing is that before the next week starts, you already have a clearly written plan. Make sure that the time you set aside is a time where you are calm, you're not exhausted, that it's free of distraction. Because even though planning is not supposed to take time, you need to actually be in a good state of mind to plan well. So set aside the time for you to plan. The second thing you need to do is to write down your plan. That is to say, you have to have a to-do list, a daily to-do list if you are more of a daily planner, or a weekly to-do list if you are more of a weekly planner or a monthly planner. But you have to have a to-do list. You can have a digital one where you write on your devices, or you can have a physical one, maybe a notebook or a journal or whatever it is. Now, when you get your to-do list, the first question you have to answer is, how do I want my week to go? In one sentence. Just use a sentence to summarize your week. How do I want my week to go? Do you want a productive week? Do you want a restful week where you're resting? Do you want a focused week? Do you want an intentional week? Name it. Do you want a peaceful week? What kind of week do you want to have? Because from week to week, we have different things that might demand our attention or our time per week. So what are you aiming for that particular week? Write it down. This is the first thing. Then the second thing you have to do is to go ahead and write the top 3 things you have to do that week on your to-do list. These things are the non-negotiables. These are the things that you must do no matter what. You just have to get them done. When you've written this down, go ahead and write every other thing else you want to do for that week. So firstly is to ask yourself, how do I want my week to go? Like a sentence summary. Secondly, write top 3 things, just 3. You don't have to write beyond 3. Top 3 things you have to accomplish that week. Then go ahead to now write other things by the side that are also important, but maybe not as important as your non-negotiables. Next thing you have to do, which is step 3, is to audit your to-do list realistically. This is where you have to look at it and ask yourself, so all these things I want to do now, every single thing on this list, is it realistic? You have to look at 2 things. These are the 2 things you must look at. One is your schedule. Do you have enough breaks? Do you have enough free time? Do you have appointments, classes, or meetings? You have to look at your week and be honest with yourself. How much time do you have on your hands? Knowing the amount of time on your hands, you can now use that to determine the number of tasks your week can realistically accommodate. The second thing you have to look at to audit your to-do list is your productivity profile. Now, your productivity profile is a pattern of how you work best, like when you are most productive, right? Everybody has their own pattern of productivity. In a particular day, you know when you're most productive or where your energy levels are high. It could be early in the morning, it could be in the evenings, it could be in the afternoons. These make up your productivity profile. So you have to look at it. What days are you most productive generally? What times of the day are you productive? Is it in the morning or is it in the evening? Another important thing you have to do when looking at your productivity profile is to think back on a week you were productive. Like, what week in your life were you productive? Think about that week. What were the things you did differently that week? What were the things that made it easy for you to be productive that week? What are the specific things you did that week that kept you productive? Think about that week. Write them down. Last week or last 2 weeks, I was productive because I did this. Last week, I was productive because I did this. What gave me enough time was because I did this. So you have to pinpoint those little things you did that last week or those weeks that made you productive, and then replicate it in your plan. Note your energy levels. When did you have most energy? What were the things that motivated you? What are the things that kept you motivated? What was your state of mind in those weeks? Think on them and put it in the plan. You know how you work best. You know when you work best. You know what your internal and external environment is like. So work with that. Now that you've looked at these things, the next thing obviously is to look at the list. What has to go? What has to come in? What has to be broken into little steps? What has to be kept for later? Audit your to-do list realistically based on your schedule and your productivity profile. Remember, when you're trying to write your to-do list, don't overwhelm yourself. You don't have to cram in 40 things into your to-do list. A weekly to-do list is okay with 5 to 10 tasks only. Very much okay with 5 to 10. The shorter, the better. The most important tasks should be done early on in the week. Don't leave them for the later part of the week. They must be done first. So plan to put them early on in the week. Try to assign days to them that are, could be Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Don't push them down to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do them first. This takes me to the fourth point, which is obviously allocate days for each task. Some of your to-dos may be day bound. Maybe you have to do them on a particular day. So make sure you are matching those tasks to the specific days. Just spread out your plan with the most important ones coming first and the other ones following suit. And of course, the next thing you have to do is to set reminders. Set reminders on these days to remind you that you have to do these things on these days. Reminders are so important. Alarms are so important. So as you are planning, you are with your phone, setting the alarms, setting the timer, setting your reminders. Okay, the final thing you have to do is to take one final look at your to-do list. Are there still things to be removed? Are there things you forgot to add? The tasks and the days you assign them, are they appropriate? Do they match? Is it realistic? Set reminders. This is so important. Set timers. These are the 5 things you have to do to have a productive week. Planning doesn't have to take time. If you are confused when you're planning, if planning seems to be taking time, you feel stuck. Planning is hard for you. It's because you don't have a clear goal. You don't have a clear direction. You don't have a clear vision yet. Okay, so you have to figure that out first before you start planning planning of any sort. Be clear with how you want your life in general to look like, how you want your life to go, who you want to be. Be clear about that. When you are clear, it's going to help you determine what exactly you should be doing each week or each day or each month in your life. So planning shouldn't be hard. Go figure out what matters to you. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, click the subscribe button if you haven't, and until my next one, take care, stay productive, and have a great one.